All right. It looks like we are live on Zoom and on Facebook, but if you've seen any of my videos, I just have to check because sometimes technology just happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and share this to the group as well, because I know that your story is going to inspire so many people. And really what I love about your story, Nikki, is that it is really just such a powerful testament to what you can create when the why and the drive is enough, right? Because this whole past couple months of your life have not been smooth and easy, but you showed up and you created amazing results in your business. And so welcome. I'm so honored to be able to celebrate you today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. Okay. So tell us some things about you. Tell us about your background. Tell us about your coaching business. Tell us all the things.
Okay. So I am a nurse. And I like being a nurse, but I also don't like being told what to do. So I went on this adventure to become my own boss probably like 6 years ago, and started off with network marketing with a company that I really liked. I'll just skim, and if you want more details, let me know.
But yeah, for sure.
Through different things of reasoning, I came to realize it would be better to just do coaching as a way to serve better. And also financially, it made way more sense. Mm-hmm. So I switched gears like last year. Mm-hmm. And financially it does make sense, but for me, it sort of didn't, because I made a whopping $800 for a whole year. And I was like,
so all of 2020, you made $800.
That is correct. Okay. So was not going to be my ticket out of nursing, obviously, but I loved coaching. The very few handful of people I was doing it with, I felt like I was really good at it, but could not market myself. And so I had seen something of yours on like a Facebook ad. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I will redeem this sentence here. But when I first saw your page, no joke, I thought you were full of crap. Only because
typical. Yeah.
only because like, I don't even remember what the ad was, but I went to your page and it said, I help people make, $10K a month in my 16-week program. And I was like, whatever. No, you don't. Like, that ain't a thing, girl. I've been at this for 6 years. And I had done so many trainings and seen so many gurus and business coaches who make those same claims, but can never back them up. And so it was nothing about you. And it was all of this jading that I had.
Totally. Yeah.
And so I did not even end up doing the training that I had signed up for. But I stayed on your email list and never opened any of the emails. Don't know why I didn't even take myself off, because I normally would, but I left you there magically. And then you were having something, what was it? Like growing your audience organically online, like a 5-day free challenge. And I was like, okay, yes, I obviously need this. So I'm just going to do this chick's free challenge. Now, mind you, I have done so many of these like webinars or free challenges, and I've never one time been inspired to buy somebody's program at the end of it. Never even had like a tiny little inkling like I wanted to do it, even though I believe in coaching. I fully believe you got to pay people for their experience. Like, if every human being is going to try to just figure it out themselves, how do we ever get better? So
exactly.
For the love of God, just pay people for their knowledge. But I've never found anybody who I was like, yes, they know what I need to know. So I think it was day 2. Was it day 2 of your challenge? I messaged you and I was like, okay, here's the deal. I need to know what's going to cost to work with you, because I know that that's coming in 3 days. And I got to go find the money because I'm broke. And then I got to break it to my husband because he's not going to be cool with this. Yeah. And then I got to go drop out of college because I just signed up to get my master's degree that my other friend, who is a coach, who is now one of your clients, Dina, talked me out of. She was like, you're going to learn nothing you don't know, and you're not going to make money. So if you want that master's degree, why don't you make money first, and then you can actually pay for it. And I was like, oh,
she's smart.
Yeah, she's so good at coaching, right?
Shout out to Dina.
So I sent you this crazy message and jumped in. I had to borrow the money from my 401k because I have no money. I was living paycheck to paycheck, quite literally. So my husband thought I was crazy, but he was supportive, and he's like, all right, whatever. I said, this will be it. I swear, I'm not spending any more money on trying to be a coach. If this doesn't work, then I'm done. it's fine. But I know that this chick like knows the things because of this, and this.
I'm so curious now because I feel like I didn't get all of this background from you before. So you went from thinking she's full of crap, all these people are, to within basically 1 or 2 days, you were like, how do I pay you? Because I got to figure this out. I'm so curious. Like, what was the turnaround?
I'll tell you what it was. So first of all, you give people actionable things to do. So there's a lot of fluff in business coaching, right? And it's like, you need to make people fall in love with you on your Facebook page. It's like, well, okay, how am I supposed to do that? Or you just got to be converting leads. Okay, well, how? But nobody gives you like all of the answers. And you're the only person, honestly, that I've seen, and I've been doing this for a long time. You're the only person I've seen that has a whole system. So here's how you get engagement. Here's how you get the leads. Here's how you convert the leads. Like, everybody's out there preaching one piece of it. And I had little pieces, and you actually use this phrase on your training. You said, some of you have none of these things in place, and that's okay. And some of you have lots of these, but it's duct taped together and it's not a system. And I was like, yes, I have the duct taped business. She just described it. So I did what you said in the training, and it was building my engagement on Facebook. So I was like, well, okay, I tried it. So far, she knows what she's talking about. So she's the real deal. I'm just going to pay this chick. Let's get this done.
Well, this just like is a testament to you more than anything. Like, you know what you want. You have a strong why behind it, and you are decisive. And decisiveness is like, I was just giving a training right before I jumped on with you. I was like, it takes me longer than to figure out what I'm going to have for dinner every night than to make big decisions about my business, because I just think being in action and being decisive is so critical. But anyway,
I'm the same way. Like, I could think about what movie we're going to watch for an hour, but I know what I want to do in my business. Yes.
Love it.
So I just jumped right in. So that was that.
Yeah. And you tell us about like your work as a nurse, and obviously you're a wife and a mom, and you've got things in your life happening.
Yeah. So all of those things that you just said, I have 2 children who are 18 and 19. They're still at home. And they're in that, I call this like the life coaching phase of parenting, where you're trying to get them responsible and out into the world and
to not make terrible mistakes.
Yeah. And a dog and a husband. And then I'm working a lot, and I had, been trying to keep my hours pretty reasonable because I wanted to commit to having a business. And then COVID happened. And as a nurse who works ER and once in a while floats up to ICU and things like that, there was a huge need. And so I was working a ton. Then we got COVID, so that was fun. And then some things were happening at work where I was like, I don't want to be here when they initiate some of these changes that are happening. Now, in my head, when I hired you, my goal was that I was going to make back my investment by the end of the program. And then I listened to some of the testimonials, and I was like, oh, I can make it back in the first month. I'll be super happy if I do that. And meanwhile, my husband's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Not happening. And so way exceeded that. And then I told my husband, I said, if I have X amount of dollars in the bank on this deadline, when these changes are happening at my place of employment, it's not maybe the most responsible thing, but I'm going to walk. I'm just going to be done. And I'm just going to do coaching, but it would be, I would need a miracle to come up with that money. It's not going to happen. And then because I was living paycheck to paycheck before meeting you, an opportunity fell in my lap that I could actually take now because of the money that I made once I started working with you. I was no longer paycheck to paycheck, and I had the opportunity to walk away from my job, take this very crazy contract.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what the last month of your life has looked like.
The last month?
Yeah.
So I went to another state. I was across the country, and I was
You're in Michigan now, and you were in Texas.
What's that?
You're in Michigan now, and you were in Texas.
That's correct. Yeah. So took this crazy contract down in Texas where they're paying nurses like insane money, right? But it's a risk because you're not guaranteed. Like, you could get down there and 2 days later, they send you home. Like, you don't know. So I could have never done something like this. So I was able to do that, got down there, worked my 4 weeks of 72 hours a week. So you just wake up and you go back to work, and then you wake up and you go back to work, and they just put you on a bus and they ship you to the hospital, and it's wild. So that was exhausting. And I got home last Saturday, and that was my last shift as a nurse, was down in Texas.
Oh my goodness. So good. And so at the end of the day, like you still enrolled some clients, you kept up with the basics, over the period. So you started with me in July, we're recording this in November of 2021. So over that period, and again, you and I talked the other day just about like, you had to pull back a little bit during 72-hour work weeks, but in that short period of time, you were able to create $22,000 in revenue for your business, which is so awesome. And, you just joined the mastermind, and we have really big goals that we're working on, which is so exciting. And I'm really curious, like, what have been some of the biggest things that you've learned through this process? And it doesn't have to, it could be about my program, but it can be about yourself or coaching or just anything.
So I didn't even think that I had limiting beliefs, so to speak, but clearly I did. But I didn't feel like I did. Like, I am a pretty confident person by nature, and I always thought I could do this. But like your claims that you help people make 10K a month, like there was clearly a limiting belief, because I was like, yeah, right. Or yes, these people have something that I don't though. Like they're personal trainers and I'm not, or, they have their masters in this and I don't, or, you just make up things, whatever. And so the fact that I was working with you for 3 weeks and I launched and I sold $18,000. And when I heard people say things like that on your podcast, I was like, yeah, but that's random. That wouldn't happen with me. And then it did. And I'm like, literally any single person who wants to do this, if they do the things that you tell them, they will be successful.
Yeah.
You just have to do the things.
I love it. I love it. I love it. From $800 in 2020 to 18,000 in your first 3 weeks. In 2021. Yes. That's a good turnaround.
Like, and then I had a meltdown for a minute. I was like, oh, these people just gave me like a lot of money.
That's a lot of responsibility.
I'd have never had this much money all at one time, because I just work and spend it on bills and going out to eat and whatever else I want. And I was like, what is this money? What do I do with this? Oh, this is weird. And then you have that thought like, oh, this is actually going to happen. And then I started putting the plan in place. Okay, these are the numbers I need to hit to actually walk away from my job, which is something I've been seeking for 6 years. So when the day gets there, your head explodes a little bit. Like,
yeah. Will you tell us about this serendipitous thing you were telling me about with your calendar the other day?
Yes. So the day that I had told my husband, if I have X amount of dollars, then on November 12th, I will be done with nursing. And, if I don't have that money, I'm just going to seek employment someplace else and keep working my business. But I'd rather not get another job. I'd rather just do my business. It's probably not going to happen. Well, it did. And it just so happened that in a different location, in a different state, not at my own home base, I go down there and I work in Texas for 4 weeks. And the last day I was there was November 12th. And I had the exact amount of money I was supposed to have to walk away from nursing. And so I was like, oh, that was weird. Thank you, Jesus.
That's amazing, right? Like, that's just the case of being clear on what you want and your vision and aligning it with action. That's why we always talk about like setting goals and writing down goals and things like that. But of course, like you were kind of saying it, like it has to be backed up with your belief, right? And so I mean, I love that story, because it is the prime example of what can happen when you're clear and you're backed with the right action and the right belief system. Like, you are just an amazing testament. And I'm really excited to ramp things back up with you now that you aren't working 72 hours a week. So I'm curious, like, any other bits of advice, or what would you say to people who are literally having the same thoughts that you were having probably back in July before we got started, where you're like, that's possible for other people, but not for me, etc.
Well, and so, and my biggest reluctance too was just, there's so many people out there that are claiming things. Like, I know people who've never made $1 as in their own business, but they're business coaches. And I'm
I had consults with a lot of those people who, and then you see their ad pop up and you're like, what?
Yeah. And they literally have never made any money, but they repeat the things that they were told in trainings that they could never implement. So my biggest thing that I would want people who are listening to understand is that in most places out there, if you're seeking expert counsel in business, you're going to get hodgepodge pieces of things, and you're going to see a lot of people who've never actually done the work. And this program is it in total. Like, it's all the things that you need to know. And so stop wasting your time trying to piece together a little free pieces of training from this person and from this person. Because even if you pull it all together, you're not going to pull it together correctly to have that system, and it needs to be fluid. And so don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just hop on board and do the things, and it will definitely be worth your time and your money. Just off with the Band-Aid and do it right.
Love that. This is why you're such a great coach. Like, I just love how like straight and direct you are with everything that comes out of your mouth. That's great.
Very direct, that's for sure.
I'm that way too. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And, I really just feel like if I were in the position of where you were, or just so many of the people who are going to watch this now and probably for years to come, I just think that you are such a great example of what's possible for people. And, it is totally in line with this mission and purpose that I serve, which is giving others the audacity to believe that their dream and everything else is possible for them. So, your words of wisdom, I have chills. I'm just so excited to continue working with you. And, you 4x'd your investment during the program, basically. And, what you're about to create, having a multi-6-figure business is so far beyond, I'm sure, the dream that you ever had when you signed up to be a nurse, but it all prepared you to be here.
Absolutely. It all happened the way that it was supposed to, and in God's timing, for sure. But yeah, it definitely, I did not expect to make what I did. It was 18 the first month. It was 10 the second, 7 the third, because then I left for Texas. So then I went into like survival mode.
Totally.
So now we get back at it.
Yeah. So just to clarify for people also, there's cash collected, and then there's like sales numbers. So you still have things coming in on payment plans and things like that. So, that's so, cause I'm thinking like they're going to do the math and be like, that doesn't add up, but it's all good. So 22K cash collected. Right. And then that was 820. It was like 30.
Well, it ended up being more in total. It ended up being more than 22. That was just like those first few months before I went to Texas. But while I was in Texas, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the numbers. I think it was around 4,000 that I brought in while I was there.
Okay. That's amazing.
I don't even know, girl. I didn't look at that last month because I just was like, sleep, eat, go to work.
Yeah. Did you get your workouts in?
No,
I wouldn't either.
I'm going to do a live about that, actually.
There you go. Everything is content. Well, I love it. I am so proud of you. You are amazing. And thank you just for dedicating, 20 minutes for other people to have the inspiration to do what you've done. So you are so appreciated. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Right. Bye, Nikki.
Bye.